Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to look at the Thursday slate. As you can see, the screen is different because I am recording from my phone. So if the audio quality is not as good, I apologize for that. But let's get into it. It's 5-game slate. Please like the video and subscribe before we get started. I appreciate it. Even though it's a 5-game slate, we have a ton of good pitching options with Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, Tanaka, Aaron Nola. We also have some good cheap options as well that we'll get into. But let's start off with my first pitcher that I like. It's going to be Aaron Nola at 9,100. He just gets a tremendous matchup here. Best matchup on the slate by far, going against the Marlins offense that strikes out a lot. They don't hit for a high average. And nobody in their lineup scares me at all against Nola. Nola obviously has not gone off to the start that you would expect after he finished third in the Cy Young voting last season. It was just completely dominant last year. But I expect him to turn it around. He's gone off to a slow April. A lot of pitchers get off to a slow start, then really turn it up. Nola had a good game in Coors last game where he did give up 9 hits, but he also had 9 strikeouts in just 5 2/3. And he's going from Colorado, facing a Rockies team that's pretty good, and now that they're healthy, going to face a Marlins offense at home in Philadelphia where he has been a lot better in his career. Nola at 9,100. Last season, if this was his price tag, it would be like 80% owned on this 5-game slate against the Marlins. So we know the talent's there and the upside is definitely there in this matchup. Second pitcher I like is actually from that same game. I like Caleb Smith at 7,300. Smith is just pretty cheap. His price tag is down almost $1,000 from his last start. And he's been very good this season. 29 strikeouts in just 23 innings. He's already handled the Phillies offense very well, where he put up 27.1 just 2 weeks ago. Phillies offense is dealing with a lot of injuries. They have not been very good over the past week or two. And their best hitter, Bryce Harper, is a lefty. He doesn't hit fellow lefties well. Rhys Hoskins also is a reverse splits hitter. So, you can kind of neutralize those two guys. And with all the injuries to Segura and Kingery, the bottom half of the lineup is not as scary. So Caleb Smith has strikeout upside, and it's facing a Phillies offense at a perfect time where they're not scoring a lot of runs, and they have been struggling. And in his last start against the Phillies, he gave up just 1 hit in 6 innings. So we think he's just a good option as your SP2, as a cheap SP2, because he allows you to spend up on some bats. And there are definitely a few bats that I want to spend up on today. So I like attacking both pitchers from this Phillies game. Going on to the bats, first up at third base, I like DJ LeMahieu a lot. He's just really, really, really cheap at 3,300. Fantasy Labs has him projected to bat leadoff in this spot. If he is going to bat leadoff, he's just a really good play, I believe. He is just too cheap facing the Angels and Anaheim. He's gone off to, hasn't hit for a lot of power so far this season, but we know the power, definitely has some power. He has good numbers against righties, and Cahill has been pretty bad this season. ERA over 5.5. He's already given up 8 home runs. So I expect this Yankees offense, they got some of their power back with Gary Sanchez. So they're going to slowly start to score a lot of runs. And LeMahieu, if he's going to be leading off or batting in the top of the order, is going to be a big part of them scoring runs. So I like LeMahieu a lot at just 3,300. He's really, really cheap. At shortstop, I love Tim Beckham. So Beckham is also pretty cheap. The Mariners offense is facing a rookie that's making his debut, Hearn. Beckham has been excellent this season. Even though he got off to a very fast start, he's cooled down a bit, but he's still hitting a solid 295 on the season with already 5 home runs. This season against lefties, he's absolutely killed them. It's a very small sample size, like 16 at-bats, like 14 at-bats, but he's 8 for 14 against lefties this year. Go with 2 home runs. That gives him a 500 ISO. Slugging percentage well over 1,000. Has 2 home runs in those 14 at-bats as well. Beckham, for his career, has also been a lot more powerful against lefties, and is now getting to face a lefty at home against a lefty that's making his debut on the road, which tends to not really face rookies very well. And this Mariners offense can absolutely hit, so it's going to be a long night, I believe, for this Texas pitcher. And Beckham, I think, is going to be a really strong play at shortstop because he has power. In the outfield we go. I'm going to start it off with Domingo Santana at 4,900. So I like the Mariners offense a lot. I've been stacking them a lot earlier this season. Got off them for the last couple weeks, but I think it's a perfect spot to jump right back on them. They are still scoring a lot of runs, and they are still hitting the ball very well. They just get one of the best matchups on the board against a rookie pitcher. And a 4,900 Santana has a really solid play. He's been crushing the ball this season, has a very high hard hit percentage. He's been great against lefties and righties for his career. He has over a 200 ISO against lefties and already has 27 RBIs. And we're not even a 30 games into the season. So he's off to a torrid start. Domingo Santana, 4,900, really sticks out on the Mariners, especially with Mitch Haniger being 5,600. I love Mitch Haniger, but that price tag is really, really high, so I'd rather pay down to Domingo Santana. And then finally, I like JD Martinez. Martinez also is really cheap at 4,800. I mean, when you have Mitch Haniger priced at 5,600 against a lefty, you would probably expect to have Martinez priced right around him, but he is $700 cheaper. And he also gets a really good matchup against Jordan Zimmerman, who gives up a lot of power to righties, has not been striking them out at a very high clip. And JD Martinez is one of the best hitters in all of baseball. Has hitting .330 on the season, already 4 home runs. Not as much home runs as you would expect out of him, only 11 RBIs. But at home, this Boston offense was absolutely lethal last season, and I expect them to get back to that really soon as the weather starts to heat up. JD Martinez just really sticks out at 4,800 against Zimmerman. So those are the picks that I like for today. Nola, Smith, LeMahieu, Beckham, Martinez, and Santana. Top stacks are the Mariners and the Red Sox, I believe. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and good luck today.